Verzátil. Para que disfrutes de la mejor calidad de audio y no te pierdas ni un detalle, te recomendamos ponerte tus audífonos. Este podcast se encuentra en Dolby Atmos.
Podcast radio breaking the mold, news with a soul, stories never sold. We ain't students, we architects of change. Flipping the script, rearranging the frame. We build bridges with beats and pens. From the roots to the sky, we
Conectando canales neuronales. Cargando. Sistema T.2 activado. Saludos, formas de vida basadas en carbono. Yo soy el asistente tecnológico oracular. Aunque puedes llamarme Ato, les presento Verzátil, un podcast cultural renovado, una ventana al pensamiento, las inquietudes y las voces de una juventud ilustrada. Iniciando transmisión.
The Black Messiah, the call for unity.
We say all power to all people. We say white power to white people. Brown power to brown people. Yellow power to yellow people. Black power to black people.
Let me tell you about someone they don't teach about in school.
I'm the deputy chairman of the state of Illinois.
Someone who
Black
saw
Panther
us
Party,
race,
Fred Hampton.
past the
And a
vision,
lot of people don't understand
and
Black
calling the
Panther
people,
Party,
all
relationship
people, to
with
stand
white
together.
motherfucking radicals. A lot of people don't even understand
A
that
young
we're
brother,
refused.
brilliant,
What
fearless,
we're saying is there are
unstoppable.
white people in
His
the
name?
mother country
Fred
that are
Hampton.
for the same type of things that we are for.
And they fear him, not just because he was black,
but
because he was uniting black, brown, and white in one fight. They silenced him, but not today. Today, we bring his revolution back. Fred was just not another leader of his time. He was a vision of what could be. And when people saw his potential, they saw it not just as a spark of hope, but as a threat to everything they held dear. So, they did everything in their power to make sure his life was extinguished. But let me tell you something about revolution. When it's real, it can be stopped. Not then, and not certainly now. Fred Hampton's story is not just his sound, it's ours. His fight lives under each of us. Every time we stand up, speak out, and unite for justice. The world may have tried to silence him, but today, we bring his voice back. Held alive, and the fire within. Fred Hampton was born in 1988. Chicago, the heart of a nation torn by inequality. It wasn't just the struggle of black people that shaped it, but the struggle of anyone who had ever felt the weight of oppression. From a young age, Fred saw injustice everywhere. But he didn't just get angry, he got organized. Even in high school, Fred wasn't just another leader of his time, not just another student. He was a leader. He led protests calling for better schools, better conditions, and fair treatment. This wasn't just about black kids getting an education. It was about dignity for all kids, no matter race or background. Fred knew that knowledge was power, so he studied law, not for a paycheck, but to defend his people, to protect them from a system that was designed to break them down. Fred's passion for justice led him to the NAACP. But even then, he saw that speeches and petitions were not enough. The fight was just not about race, it was about power. It was about fighting the system that kept people in poverty, that kept them divided. So, Fred turned his focus from the status quo to a more radical approach to unity. He understood that you couldn't just uplift black people. You had to uplift everyone who was oppressed by the same system. This made him a force to be reckoned with. and it's why they fear him. The Rainbow Coalition under a real tree. Then came the Black Panther Party. At just 20 years old, Fred Hampton wasn't just leading the Chicago chapter. He was building something revolutionary. He was creating the Rainbow Coalition, a movement that didn't just focus on one race or one community, but united everyone. Black, white, Latino, Native, poor folks from every background standing together. Imagine that! People from all walks of life coming together to demand justice. And that's what scared the system the most. Not just black people rising up, but everyone uniting against the real enemy, oppression. Fred wasn't just talking about unity. He was showing people how to live with. People who had been divided for centuries were suddenly standing side by side in a common cause. The message was clear. You can defeat us if we stand together. But unity is dangerous to the powerful. They knew that if Fred succeeded, if he continued to bring people together, the whole system could crumble. So, the government did what it always does when faced with real change. They tried to crush it. They feared Fred Hampton's message of unity because it treated the country. They didn't just see the Black Panthers as a threat. They saw unity itself as a threat. COINTELPRO, J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI. They weren't just trying to stop black leaders. They were trying to stop the people from realizing our power. Because once we understand the power, we stop playing by the rules. And that is a revolution they couldn't allow. Betrayal, the night they stole the future. On December 4, 1969, Fred Hampton was asleep in his bed, just 21 years old. He was young, he was gifted, and his vision for the world was more alive than ever. But there were forces that wanted to make sure that vision never see the light. An informant, William O'Neill, was planted within Fred's inner cycle. O'Neill gained Fred's trust and ultimately betrayed him, feeding crucial information to the police. That night, while Fred slept, the Chicago police stormed in, armed with rifles and automatic weapons. There were no warnings, no arrests, just bullets. Over 90 rounds were fired into that apartment. Fred never had a chance to defend himself. It wasn't a shootout. It was a damn assassination. They killed Fred Hampton in cold blood. They call it a shootout. But Fred never ever fired a shot. He was lying on his bed, drugged, asleep. And in that moment, they stole the future of a united people, a revolution that could have changed everything. They took his life, but they didn't take his spirit. They couldn't. Fred Hampton was more than just a man. He was an idea, a dream. And that's why they had to kill him.
I don't believe I'm gonna die slipping on no ice.
Revolution lives on. Fred Hampton didn't just fight for one group. He fought for all of us. He fought for the poor, for the disenfranchised, for those who had been silenced for far too long. His vision wasn't about black liberation. It was about liberation for everyone who has ever been crushed under the weight of oppression. He believed in something bigger than himself, and that's why they fear him. But the truth is, they can kill the unity. They can kill the idea that we are stronger together. Fred Hampton's message, his dream, is still alive. It lives in every protest, every act of resistance, every moment when people come together to demand a change. They try to erase his name from history. They try to bury his revolution, but we bring his name back. We bring his fight back. We carry a dream with us. Remember Fred Hampton. Remember a Rainbow Coalition. Remember the dream of unity. Because it's not over. The revolution is alive, and it will never be silenced. And never let them erase the voices of the past.
Power to the people.
They said he was too young, too loud, too proud, but all he ever did was dream out loud. Fred Hampton, name they tried to hide, but tonight, the revolution's still alive. Born in Chi-Town, 1948, young brother saw the world full of pain.
Verzátil, un podcast cultural. Un espacio donde la curiosidad y el conocimiento se encuentran. Una producción de Atoya y el Departamento de Estudios Culturales de la Universidad Autónoma Metropolitana, Unidad Lerma, y la Secretaría de Ciencias, Humanidades, Tecnología e Innovación. Yo soy A205. Fin de la transmisión.